part of what we are doing so we can post that information online. If you are here for basketball meeting, then this is the right place. Anything else, dance is in the wrong building. We have dance going on also. So this is for basketball. We're really excited about some of the things we're going to be able to do with basketball, but we need some more players. So high school boys, if you're in high school and you want to play basketball, then you're going to have to help us recruit some of your guys so that we have enough to play high school basketball. Middle school and our PAL leagues, I think we're going to have plenty. But we still, tell your friends if they want to play this year. We're going to have a really great time, and we are really fortunate with some of the things we're going to be able to do that we've never been able to do before. Mr. Oneida and Mrs. Oneida, if you don't know this yet, they are parents at our school, but also have agreed to be our athletic directors. So they have taken on the lead, and especially with basketball, they're both really passionate about basketball, have a lot of experience, that's their sport. So I'm going to let him kind of just lead our discussion and answer the questions that you might have and go from there. But we like to start every meeting and everything we do with prayer. So I'm going to ask if you all just pray with me before we start our meeting, and then we'll get started. Heavenly Father, thank you, God, for this evening. Thank you for the rain. Thank you for the double rainbow in the sky you showed us earlier. For reminding us of your promises. God, thank you for basketball. Thank you for sports and the ability to have fun and learn things as a team. And God, thank you for all the parents willing to come out and support their kids as they learn something and just participate in our sport for our school. And I also thank you for our coaches and the Oneidas who have stepped forward to help lead the season to a successful and just a fun time. We give this all to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, Kim. I'm not as near as comfortable up here as she is, obviously. But yeah, like she said, my name is Chris and Oneida, and Katie's my wife, and Braden and Seth are my boys, 6th grade and 9th grade. I did end up coaching basketball last year, and then run Katie in to do it as well with the girls, and it was great. We both grew up playing basketball, small town school for me, Idaho. Katie played some college ball even in Oregon. And I did just a little bit as well. And so basketball is an easy thing for us to jump into. But for, at the end of the day, I'm here, I'm a parent just like you guys are, and am helping the school get the programs, different athletic programs up and going. Doing a lot of phone calls and paperwork and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. And we had good schedules, at least with PAL, 5th through 8th grade with the volleyball and football. And so basketball should continue. But for now, I think it's just important for us to help the school get sports up and running as a tangible, real program that we can, as a school, can be proud of, and that you guys, kids and parents, can be proud of too. We're talking about adding, even just today, a tab on the website for athletics where we can get some donors and sponsorships. Things like that from the different businesses and people, just tons of ideas and things that just need to come to be, from the school standpoint. So thank you guys all for coming tonight. I did get a lot of messages too from parents about not being able to make it tonight. So Braden is recording this for me, hopefully, yes. And you push the button, right? So we'll have a YouTube link maybe or something for those other parents. So you guys got a packet for basketball, and actually this will be for every sport, every program. It's not just basketball specific. But basketball, I'm looking forward to having a gym. I mean, they need a round of applause just for that. Last year we played, everything was at low camp, so there was no high school. And so practice was out on the blacktop, and all the games were away. And that's how PAL works. So all the PAL, which is going to be 5th to 8th grade, every game is on Saturday at St. Anthony's Gym. If you were part of the football or volleyball, same location. That's just how PAL works. As far as high school goes, CIF. When we took over, when high school came to be, and when Katie and I jumped into this position, we found out real quick that high school sports are scheduled like a year in advance. So for us to come in, April April, May, whenever it was, they're like, everybody's full, everybody's booked. So hopefully we can get some high school games. I know we have a couple actually on schedule already, if we can get the kids. I know there's, what did you say, 4, Braden? 4 kids for high school, so 9th through 11th. So if we can get a few more boys, for sure, signed up, if you guys have friends, or if you know some more boys, that would give these 4 a chance to play, and I think we could get some good games for them. But it's great having a gym for practice, and great for, just, we could actually have a few home games, like volleyball. So, that said, sorry, I get nervous real quick. The parent packet, you're gonna find, just read through those when you can. That is, a mission statement, philosophy. There's some great stuff in there and great direction for the school to go. The final sheet of that packet is the student athlete and code of conduct that we need to have signed and returned before first day of practice. And you guys can reach out to me directly with any questions for that. It just talks about what it means to participate in school sports and what it means, what it actually means to show up to practice. Show up on time, show up at every practice, be ready to play, be ready to be respectful, to learn from your coaches, from whoever may be assisting with that. So just some details. How travel will work with sports moving forward is in there. Code of conduct as well, which I think is very important. Every other school has one also, so it's not like it's just an us or a me thing. Because we do represent Clovis Christian schools when we go to other games, other schools, other locations, interacting with other parents, fans, players, that kind of thing. So practice for basketball is going to start this next Monday on the 14th, a week from today, at the gym. You guys know where the gym location is? If we don't, I'll dojo all that info this week.
Do you want me to talk about the gym for a minute?
Yeah, if you want to,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm just going to talk about the gym really quick for a minute. If you don't know, then we have partnered with Valley Dream Center. Valley Dream Center is, if you didn't play any volleyball games or didn't come over there, it's about 2 minutes from here. Like literally 2 minutes. Probably a 5-minute walk, 2-minute drive. And I'm really bad with directions, so I just know that it's over here. But it's on Winery. That's the specific address. It's right across from Discovery Center. And Valley Dream Center had a gym. I was researching who has a gym because it's really hard for our kids to play in the blacktop, and we are at an extreme disadvantage when we go and play and they've been on the blacktop playing. So through researching that, was excited to meet Craig Jones, the director of Valley Dream Center right now, and said, hey, do you have a gym? He's like, yeah, we have a gym. No one's been using it for over 2 years. So went, checked it out, and was able to make an agreement with them. So we are leasing the use of the gym. It's not for free. They let us do volleyball for free, which is great. But now they're like, hey, if you're going to use it consistently, we need to take care of like janitorial and all the things for having the gym, which makes sense. So we have leased the gym until February, so even beyond a little bit of the basketball season, and we have it available to us 5 days a week. So we know that even depending on the coaches, if they're going to practice 5 days a week, but that is why we have the access to the gym. So all of our practices are going to be there. We have plenty of space inside of there. It's an old gym. It's perfect. It's inside. It's great. So I'm very excited that we have it. We do need to purchase a couple more rolling basketball hoops, like the ones we have outside, so that we can do all of our practices pretty much at the same time, and be able to accommodate like the girls and the guys practice. And it's going to be up to coach on what that looks like. The biggest difference is we're probably not going to have an issue getting kids that are in this campus to the gym. But if you're a 5th grader, right? If you're a 5th grade parent, your 5th grader wants to play, that'll be something to coordinate, getting your 5th grader over here, for practice and what that looks like. So we can talk about those details afterwards, but I know the goal is that we could start practicing on Monday the 14th. A lot of teams already start practicing, is that right? Yeah. So we want to start as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that doesn't actually give us a ton of time because Pal's first game is December 3rd. And on paper, that's almost a month, right? Well, it's actually 1 week of practice. Everybody's gone for Thanksgiving break, and then a week of practice, and the game's that Saturday. So it's only 2 weeks of practice. So it's important to, if we're going to play ball, to show up to practice, be ready to play, and get as far as we can before our first game, and that will be at St. Anthony's. So practice will be, we're looking at Monday through Thursday, every day, every week, Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5 o'clock, always at the gym, every team, high school, boys, girls, 5th grade through 8th grade, everything over there. It's just going to be a great location for that, and we can work together as a team and have enough kids to maybe scrimmage against each other, make practices more effective, I think, and we'll see how it goes, but that's my plan. I think that would be great. To have the gym at our disposal is a wonderful thing, especially for basketball. So Saturdays, like last year, if your boys or girls played last year, all the games are at St. Anthony's on Saturdays. They'll come out with the schedules. It's not us that does it, and so all I can do is just let you know when I know. First game is December 3rd, and looking at early February, I believe the 4th, which is a Saturday for tournaments for JV, which would be 5th, 6th grade, and then the following Saturday, the 11th, would be varsity tournament. So very similar to last year. Expect fees to get into the game for tournaments. St. Anthony's did charge for this past tournament, which is actually normal. They do it every year. They charged last year for every basketball game. I believe it's like $5 due for kids. I can verify that, but bring cash for sure. And those fees, I don't know exact numbers, but refs can be $1,000 by themselves every single Saturday. And then you look at, I don't know what they told me, it's probably $3,000 every Saturday that St. Anthony's has in expenses between janitorial, use of the gym from the church, etc. And you understand that, I'm sure. So expect fees. Jerseys, what do you want to do about jerseys? Should we get maybe those on first practice?
Yes.
Jerseys sizes for jerseys?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do that on Monday next week. High school boys, you guys, we hit it up a little bit at lunchtime today, but gotta get a few more players. So parents can help with that, boys can help with that. Talk to your friends. Hey, come on, we just need a couple more, all right? Then we'll go from there. We do need coaches and assistants. We're looking at as many as 6 teams potentially, if the high school has 2 teams. And that's a lot. That's a lot more than I can handle, and my wife's willing to help as well. But definitely need coaches, assistants. So you guys think about that, pray about that, see if that's something that you guys definitely have interest in, because we could use the help there for sure. Besides that, just make sure you guys read through that packet. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me. I can answer some of those questions for you. If you didn't already, sign up your son's name on the sheets over there, or your daughter. That'll give us an idea of where we stand as far as teams. I have to relay back to PAL and CIF both as to how many teams we have, how many we don't. So it's actually important to do that. Other than that, the fee is still the same?
Yes.
And that's $125?
Yes, for the whole season.
For the basketball season. So $125 is due, $125 fee, and the assigned form that's behind your information packet will be due before practice starts. That's all I got, unless you have more, or if you guys have questions.
Yeah, no, I think that the only question or the only thing is that the biggest difference is we are having everyone sign the code of conduct before we even start. That also, in that packet, it talks about our grades. So report cards just came out. So grades also need to be at a level that is passing, right? And I think it specifies in there that we don't want to have D's or any unpassing grades. If that would put you at risk for definitely not being able to be on the team, not being able to play. And the thing is like you guys showed up to the meeting, which already shows commitment, which is awesome. So thank you for that. And being on a sports team is commitment. So once you sign up, we really need you to commit for the season. because your team's counting on you. You know, other than getting sick or, you know, something happens and we know things happen, but your team's counting on you. So if you're just like, man, getting up on Saturday, I just don't want to, that could affect your team being able to play.
I can give
So,
you an example of that. Yeah.
You want to give an example?
Sure, I can. That happened with football. It wasn't us. I think it was St. Helens. I think they only had 9 kids on their team, and it's 8-man football, right? Well, they came to. I was part of the PAL meeting before the tournament started, and he came. 8 o'clock that morning. They played 8:30. He says, "Hey, I only got 6. I got 3 that aren't coming." And I think the truth was that they didn't come because they just didn't feel like getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. And my fear is having smaller schools and smaller numbers that potential could be there. I would hate to spend hours and months scheduling a basketball game for these boys on, in January at Fresno Christian, just to cancel on them, put the school out, all those people out, because we didn't have people show up. So.
Yeah, the first year you do anything, sometimes it takes a minute to get started, but basketball has been our sport. As small as our school has been, Clovis Christian has really excelled in basketball. Even when we didn't have the other sports available, basketball has seemed to be the one that everyone has just really enjoyed doing. And I think, again, being able to have a gym, play inside, have really amazing coaches right from the beginning, and hopefully some more of you that might be interested in coaching, we make it a really strong team because there's so much that is learned with playing. One thing you may be wondering is if your student does multiple activities. That's something that we've come across. And practice 4 days a week, that seems like a lot. If that is something that is going to affect, you coming, just make sure you talk to the coach about that. Because I know that some people do have other activities or tutoring or other things that they do after school as well. So being there at practice is important, but let us know if that is something, because we really, we really want to have a team. We really want the boys that want to play, the girls that want to play, to be able to have that opportunity. And for high school boys, for you guys by next year, because our 7th and 8th grade is our largest groups on campus, by next year, that high school team is going to be significant. So you guys that are, if you're a freshman now, sophomore now, and you play, your knowledge and ability by next year with coaching is going to be awesome. So I think that puts us in a really good place. So, talk to your friends. We only need a few, and I've seen you guys all playing in the morning basketball. So get them all together and let's get our team going here so we can have a really great season. If you have more questions or anything like that specific, Mr. Oneida and I will be standing around and you can just come and ask us, but does anyone have something that's general? Yes.
You said it's like 2 minutes down the street.
Yeah.
Is there going to be any transportation, like with the shuttle to practice, or do parents need to come pick up when school gets out? And there's like a 30-minute gap of time and then go, or is there going to be a shuttle option?
So it's going to be up to coach, but I do believe that we have the gym from 3:30 until later, and so it's going to be up to the coach. Whoever the coaches are, okay, if I have kids when we get out of school, by the time you get out of school and you get over there, it'll already be 3:45. So if that's going to be okay with the coach for them to come to practice early or to do that, then I think that's going to be something that depends on if it's Mr. Oneida or we have another coach. But the way the shuttle works now is we have 2 shuttles. They come, first one comes to Shield or comes here, and then takes them to Locan. And so it would be difficult for the shuttle to take them all, to have just a shuttle taking them to basketball practice. What I think will happen is students who get out here on this campus, not our 5th graders, but we get out at 3:30. By the time our pickup goes, because I see this for dance and the other sports we've done, by 3:45, we know, okay, you guys are all here for sports still, you need to go over to the gym. Yeah, let's go to the gym. So getting them to the gym is not going to be as big of an issue because of how close it is, but picking them up, parents would have to pick them up. There wouldn't be a shuttle at 5 taking them back to Locan. So getting them from here to the gym, I don't think is going to be an issue at all, but getting them after practice, parents would have to pick them up after practice.
Yeah, I think it's fine to show up. You guys hear me? I think it's fine to show up. Early is that part of your question? Practice is at 4.
Well, because otherwise she'd be going from one campus to the next campus and then back again, because if you have multiple kids at different places and they're getting out different times, you're making like 3 trips, back and forth trips. So what I would say to that is again, I think like in Jackson's case, like, okay, we know he's playing basketball every day. You're going to be here for basketball. After the pickup, then we're going to take Jackson over to basketball. But he's going to connect with the coach. It's going to be the coach's like, all right, maybe the coach has room to drive him to practice if the coach is here, or it's staff that's driving him over that you get permission for. But for the pickup time, we had parents when we were doing with volleyball, what we ran into is needing rides. And because in volleyball our games were all during the week, we had some kids that weren't getting picked up till way past when the games were over. And so then we had staff waiting, and that became a real issue. And with making sure that kids are not unsupervised. So when school's out, we need to have them somewhere. So since the gym is going to be open and we'll be able to get them there, if they're here in this campus, I don't think that's a problem. It's just picking them up on time after practice. From Locan, getting them over here, that is going to be a parent. We're going to ask parents to do that for right now. Unless we have an overwhelming amount that needs a shuttle and we can work it out, we're going to ask, because they get out by 3:15, if they can come over and bring their child to practice and then pick up when it's done.
Are the children that go to school here allowed to walk there?
Not by themselves.
Okay.
But yes, I think all the students here at Warrior Campus, we can get them there because it's so close, so easy, and there's multiple staff that can just, drive them the couple minutes over there. But it's really probably the Locan kids that we may run into an issue getting them over here. Yeah. Any other questions?
I think if you as the school is willing to get kids over there.
Yes.
From a coach's standpoint, I see myself already over there.
Exactly.
Because
so,
we're gonna
yes.
have hoops to set up,
Right.
things to just get ready for 4 o'clock practice. So
Right.
if the school's willing to get them over there, then I would just make sure that as a parent, it's the same with any school.
Yes.
Practice is over at 5, be there at 5
Right.
to pick up your child. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And getting permission from you, like, hey, okay, we're getting your child to practice and you're picking them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And games are a little easier. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, I am a parent too, so I know the game situation on Saturdays. If the game's at 10 o'clock and coach, whoever it is, asks you to be there at 9:30, be there at 9:30. We got warm-ups, we have a meeting before. The game's at 10, I have to be there. We had some of that going on last year too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just really just be punctual, picking up your child and showing up to games on time. And that's best for the team. It's best for all the boys and girls.
Right. Any other questions?
Not so much a question, but a concern.
Mm-hmm.
We as parents need to be held accountable to support the kids and not break them down over a high school game. Because the way the volleyball tournament ended up, that wasn't okay.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. When we got together, and Mr. Oneida has been really helping us get all of our, because we're building a sports program, right? So now we have high school, which we never had before, and all those things. So it's like, okay, let's make sure that we have everything that we need. And you bring up a big point, which we're really passionate about, and he and his wife have done a great job putting together some very clear guidelines and expectations, because as parents, we might get passionate about watching our kids play, but it's their sport. It's their time. And it's up to the coach, so we want to make sure to honor our coaches, give our coaches respect, give our kids the encouragement, because it's about them learning to be a better player, better teammate, be an encourager to each other and represent themselves well. We want, winning is fun. I am competitive. I like to win. We don't want to say, oh no, you don't have to win. We want to win. We like to play to win and teach our kids to win, but not at the expense of, hurting our character, our integrity, or who we are, as a school. So thank you for bringing that up. I think that Coach Oneida and his wife are really awesome at keeping that like on track and making sure that students are representing themselves well with their language, with their conduct, with how they are talking to other players, and parents as well. That parents are being respectful, and if you want to coach, sign up to coach. But sideline coaching is discouraged.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, and that's where a lot of this comes from. And it's not a volleyball repercussion per se, but
Right.
volleyball is a prime example of why every single school has things like this. So these are things that I put together with their approval, and it's not like this to the parent.
No.
It's just standard stuff that really every other school is already doing. And it's to handle some of those things. Like if you read on the second page, there's code of conduct right here, and there's coaching parental expectations and what that looks like. And that's exactly the form in the back that you guys and the child are assigned, is agreeing to those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So that when these things come up, me as athletic director can meet with that individual and go, look, your name, you signed this right here, this is what's going on, and we need to fix it, immediately. And so there was talk about doing this, for football and volleyball, really. It's just taken some time to get that far with it, because we just want to do it right. But yeah, it's not a result of volleyball, because I was already planning on doing it. But volleyball, if you're a part of volleyball, is a prime example of why these things need to be instilled. So if you want to read through that and see what you think, I'm open for suggestions, ideas. This is kind of a mashup of different things that I have from my business, other Christian schools, private schools. I feel like it's very well put together, but at the same time, I'm sure it can change and improve. And I'll always be one to listen and take feedback, because I want the program to be better.
Yep.
And so I'm not ever going to sit here and go, don't talk to me, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I definitely want to hear what you have to say, because I'm a parent too. And so I get the business side of things sometimes, but I also understand what it means to be a dad with a kid playing the game. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else? No?
Well, make
You
sure
guys excited to play? Yeah?
basketball
No?
was fun
Yes?
last year. It was fun.
It is fun. I think that having basketball, like I said, the last few years, as small as we've been, basketball's kind of been our sport to show up and do really well. So I am excited to see the kids be able to be coached well from the beginning. In the past 2 years, we did have good coaches. They were high schoolers. So Clovis East, we had Clovis East basketball seniors that were recommended to us, and that's who helped us coach. And so sometimes it was hard because they had their own games, and they were able to come to all of our things, and then that's when the Oneidas were able to step in and kind of come alongside, which was great. But having them dedicated to the coaching the whole season is really awesome. Did you have a...
I was just thinking, in the future, do you think that the kids will be able to have fundraisers?
Yeah, so what we are wanting to do with our sports program is we have separated our sports program from our general fund. So Clovis Christian Schools now has a 501c3 approved entity, Jericho Fields. So you hear us talking about Jericho building and using that language. That is our sports program. So Jericho Fields has just been confirmed that it is approved nonprofit, which means our sports program can grow in a way that is, going to be really awesome for the kids. They, families and businesses can donate to that. It is a tax write-off for them. And Mr. Oneida has been putting together a donation form that explains our sports program, what we're doing. We're getting that put up on our website as a separate entity so that it's really going to grow itself, because we will need the funding for, paying for gym, paying for new jerseys. We want our kids to look good out there. We want to have nice jerseys. Those things cost a little bit. Be able to pay all the fees. There's a lot of fees. All the ref fees, PAL League fees, CIF fees. Everybody has a fee. So by being able to do fundraisers, now that we have a separate entity that's totally separate from the school general fund, it'll be easier for us to have fundraisers specifically for the sports program. Like a boosters type program that we are growing. So this is like, this is year one. We have, I don't know if you haven't been out to the campus, our field, I know it's dark, you can't see it, but it's about 2 acres and it's beautiful green grass now with a beautiful fence around it. That is our field that we plan on doing soccer on, and especially soccer. Not sure if we'll have what we need for baseball or softball with the way the field is, but it's definitely giving us a lot of opportunities for sports and to be part of a larger sports vision for what we're doing. But yes, that's a great question. We don't want to, one thing is, I don't want to fundraise people to death. I think people get very fundraising leery and tired, because you're always giving, especially this season. But if you have different categories and there's ways we can raise funding for our sports that doesn't keep asking parents. So there are a lot of businesses that want to advertise. Like, hey, can I have my banner in your gym? We'll put your banner in our gym, and then come up with different things like that where they will give to that specifically. So it doesn't feel like we're constantly asking parents to buy a candle or buy some candy or buy something else for a fundraiser. So yes.
Yeah, both, I think, right? I mean, you talked, that was part of the conversation was, as a parent, like all the time, need another $20 for this, $20 for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to have to keep doing that all the time. But
Right.
On the one side, bigger donations, boosters, renting a gym for every month is not cheap.
No.
How much money has gone on into that field so far?
A lot.
Which is great. But
Yeah.
think about, so the field, I don't know I need to go measure and check it out as far as baseball, softball. We can't just go, let's play baseball.
Right.
It is not that simple.
No.
Because the high school is part of CIF.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the field doesn't reach certain measurements, all the way from, bleachers to the size of the backstops,
Right.
Every single thing, there's all kinds of safety and issues that are involved, whether or not a sport's even doable.
Yeah.
But I do know, I'm pretty sure that it is large enough to do like football, like for real football, 8-man football.
Yes.
Next year
That's a
would
big
be
goal that
great.
we have is 8-man football. So
Yeah,
that's
but-
one of the
Yeah.
one of the reasons for investing in the field
Mhm.
is to be able to do 8-man football and have that in our future.
Yeah, and just think about football, all the equipment, all the field maintenance and the lines and the markers, and I don't know if you have to have medical on site for games. All that stuff adds up really quickly when all of a sudden I move from the parent standpoint to the business standpoint and go, whoa, there's actually a lot of money involved. So yeah, on one side, we need Bob's Electric to donate whatever he wants to donate, and he gets his banner up on the field all year. That kind of donation is great.
Yeah.
But also, smaller ones are great too. I know you talked about, I guess the school has done before, Seminoles and
Yes.
things
So
where it's not just
yes.
the school needs money, but something where there's a trade-off. You can,
the other thing is we try to keep our fees really low. The 125 doesn't even, that gets us just squared away with paying but it doesn't pay for, use of the gym or stipends for coaches. It's like barely helps us really. And so our purpose is for sports. Sports add a whole nother element to school. And there are students that really, really thrive when they have the ability and opportunity to play sports for their school. It increases school spirit, your all the things you learn as a team, like I was saying before, that's why you're all here. You know that. And your kids want to play. It's fun. We want them to have fun and enjoy it. But everything does cost money, but we're trying to keep our fees low. So in that, we will supplement that by having requesting and soliciting other funding from other sources, especially businesses, because businesses do have funding that they set aside for things like that, and they're willing to do that for a cause. And you may have people who own their own business or want to advertise their business, and so that's a great way to reach out and be able to get them involved and the community involved in what we're doing. So just really great questions. And so as we grow, just connect with Mr. Oneida, and by next year this will also look totally different. So this is again just the first year of getting your support, and right now we want to have really strong basketball teams and get all of our kiddos, since we have a gym, we have a commitment to a gym, and we have coaches. So we do need more coaches to come out and help, and we need more players for high school. And other than that, for our girls, I think we're going to have plenty for a girls JV and varsity.
I
How?
would assume so, yeah.
But for girls high school, I don't know that we are going to have a girls high school team this year because we have a pretty small group, and I don't think that they want to commit to high school. But next year, all those 8th graders that we have, they'll be ready to play and have a really strong team. So, well, I know some of you might be anxious thinking about dinner already, like the kids are too. They're like, what are we going to eat after this? So we'll let you go and be dismissed with that. And if you have more questions, then feel free to ask Mr. Oneida.
Thank you guys. I'm looking forward to basketball. I am. It was fun last year. Did you guys play last year? Anybody here that was part of basketball last year? At least the way we finished up, I think the parent feedback I got was really good. By the time the tournaments were over, and, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to basketball. You guys have it, Jim?
You guys did great. You guys did great the last 2 years. Those who have played the last 2 years, so. All right, well,